Ready for Evolution. I'm your brother and friend, Brother Eric Trey Muhammad. This is impromptu, unannounced, but it will be something that will consistently happen every couple of days or so. I have been inspired by an author, public speaker, prolific writer, podcaster, Sekou Writes, to embark on a journey of a read out loud of the works of Wallace D. Wattles. Now, you'll learn more about him as we move along in this series, but I'm going to read from the Science of Getting Rich. And that's a 15-part book of 15 chapters, not including the preface that comes before it. But I'm going to read the preface and I'm going to read a chapter, and then I'm going to give my thoughts as they come to me in relation to the chapter. Now, why that is important to me is because Dr. Best taught me, Dr. Tyrone Best, my sponsor for life, Wealth Builders Worldwide, the CEO and founder of that amazing entity. He shared with me that now that you've hit 100,000 a month, do you know you can hit 200,000 a month if you just read a book? Reading books on how to do it. He always encouraged us to feed our mind, feed our spirit, feed the subconscious. He's always taught us how, or encouraged rather, how to do just that so we can have the life we're most desirous of. Now, I have a goal financially that I don't mind sharing with you. A part of that goal is going to the know-how, how to make it happen. I have a goal of within 12 months to reach $1 million in monthly income, primarily passively. That's the goal. How I reach it is a matter of applying the science. Make sense? So there is a science, an exact science to getting anything that we want. And the science is rooted in the scriptures. If you go to Ecclesiastics, the first chapter, the ninth verse, it states, what has been will be again. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. And the last part, there is nothing new under the sun. So I want you to embrace that as I embrace this, because there's nothing here that you can give me credit for creating. There's nothing here in my goal set that I am the author of, per se. There's nothing out here that you find of good of me that is solely from me, because I'm an extension of a universe. I'm an extension of a universal law. I'm an extension of affirmation as well as faith. Okay. So anything that I know, knew, or do is a result of coming from others and not divorce myself from that line of divine, if you will. So I'm going into this series. This book here, Science of Success, is a three-part book. It's a trilogy book from Wallace Wattles. He gives us the science of getting rich, the science of being well, and the science of being great. These three books are included in this one hardcover copy. I encourage all of you to get it. So what I'm going to do first is open up with the preface, then go into the chapter and give you the thoughts as they occur to me. And I'm also encouraging you to do two other things. Number one, get the book, Science of Success, The Science of Success. Number two, get with Brother Sekou Writes at Sekou, Sekou, Writes, Writes, SekouWrites.com. Join his page, explore his material, get a hold of his works. So inspired by what I received from him and knowing some of the backdrop of his story, the challenges and what he's overcome. Amazing, amazing gentleman. All right. So now I'm going to go to the preface for The Science of Getting Rich, and then I'll move into chapter one. Okay. This book is pragmatical, not philosophical, a practical manual, not a treatise upon theories. It is intended for the men and women whose most pressing need is for money, who wish to get rich first and philosophize afterward. It is for those who have, so far, found neither the time, the means, nor the opportunity to go deeply into the study of metaphysics, but who want results and who are willing to take the conclusions of science as a basis for action, without going into all the processes by which those conclusions were reached. It is expected that the reader will take the fundamental statements upon faith, just as he would take statements concerning a law of electrical action if they were promulgated by a Marconi or an Edison, and taking their statements upon faith that he will prove their truth by acting upon them without fear or hesitation. Every man or woman who does this will certainly get rich, for the science herein applied is an exact science and failure is impossible. For the benefit, however, of those who wish to investigate philosophical theories and so secure a logic basis for faith, I will here cite certain authorities. The monistic theory of the universe, the theory that one is all and that all is one, that one substance manifests itself as the seeming many elements of the material world, is of Hindu origin and has been gradually winning its way into the thought of the Western world for 200 years. It is the foundation of all the Oriental philosophies and of those of Descartes, Spinoza, Leibniz, Schopenhauer, Hegel, and Emerson. The reader who would dig to the philosophical foundations of this is advised to read Hegel and Emerson for himself. In writing this book, I have sacrificed all other considerations to plainness and simplicity of style so that all might understand. The plan of action laid down herein was deduced from the conclusions of philosophy. It has been thoroughly tested and bears the supreme test of practical experiment. It works. If you wish to know how the conclusions were arrived at, read the writings of the authors mentioned above, and if you wish to reap the fruits of their philosophies in actual practice, read this book and do exactly what it tells you to do. That is signed by the author, and the author again is Wallace D. Wattles. Now, let's dive in. Chapter 1, The Right to be Rich. Whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live in a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. No man can rise to his greatest possible height in talent or soul development unless he has plenty of money. For to unfold the soul and to develop talent, he must have many things to use, and he cannot have these things unless he has money to buy them with. A man develops in mind, soul, and body by making use rather of things, and society is so organized that man must have money in order to become the possessor of things. Therefore, the basis of all advancement for man must be the science of getting rich. The object of all life is development, and everything that lives has an inalienable right, all the development it is capable of attaining. Man's right to life means his right to have the free and unrestricted use of all the things which may be necessary to his fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfoldment, or, in other words, his right to be rich. In this book, I shall not speak of riches in figurative way. To be really rich does not mean to be satisfied or contented with a little. No man ought to be satisfied with a little if he is capable of using and enjoying more. Purpose of nature is the advancement and unfoldment of life, and every man should have all that can contribute to the power, elegance, beauty, and richness of life. To be content with less is sinful. The man who owns all he wants for the living of all the life he is capable of living is rich. And no man who has not plenty of money can have all he wants. Life has advanced so far and become so complex that even the most ordinary man or woman requires a great amount of wealth in order to live in a manner that even approaches completeness. Every person naturally wants to become all that they are capable of becoming. This desire to realize innate possibilities is inherent in human nature. We cannot help wanting to be all that we can be. Success in life is becoming what you want to be. You can become what you want to be only by making use of things, and you can have the free use of things only as you become rich enough to buy them. To understand the science of getting rich is therefore the most essential of all knowledge. There is nothing wrong in wanting to get rich. The desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life, and that desire is praiseworthy. The man who does not desire to live more abundantly is abnormal. And so the man who does not desire to have money enough to buy all he wants is abnormal. There are three motives for which we live. We live for the body, we live for the mind, we live for the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. All are alike desirable, and no one of the three, body, mind, or soul, can live fully if either of the others is cut short of full life and expression. It is not right or noble to live only for the soul and deny mind and or body. And it is wrong to live for the intellect and deny body or soul. We are all acquainted with the loathsome consequences of living for the body and denying both mind and soul. And we see that real life means the complete expression of all that man can give forth through body, mind, and soul. Whatever he can say, no man can be really happy or satisfied unless his body is living fully in every function, and unless his body is living fully in every function, excuse me, and unless the same is true for his mind and his soul. Wherever there is unexpressed possibility or function not performed, there is unsatisfied desire. Desire is possibility seeking expression or function seeking performance. Man cannot live fully in body without good food, comfortable clothing, and warm shelter, and without freedom from excessive toil. Rest and recreation are also necessary to his physical life. He cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity for travel and observation, or without intellectual companionship. To live fully in mind, he must have intellectual recreations and must surround himself with all the objects of art and beauty he is capable of using and appreciating. To live fully in soul, man must have love, and love is denied expression by poverty. A man's highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those he loves. Love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. The man who has nothing to give cannot fill his place as a husband or father, as a citizen, or as a man. It is in the use of material things that a man finds full life for his body, develops his mind, and unfolds his soul. It is therefore of supreme importance to him that he should be rich. In the last paragraph here of chapter 1, it is perfectly right that you should desire to be rich. If you are a normal man or woman, you cannot help doing so. It is perfectly right that you should give your best attention to the science of getting rich, for it is the noblest and most necessary of all studies. If you neglect this study, you are derelict in your duty to yourself, to God, and humanity, for you can render to God and humanity no greater service than to make the most of yourself. Folks, that's the conclusion of chapter 1 from Wallace D. Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich, chapter titled The Right to Be Rich. He also opened with a preface that gave us an understanding, pragmatically, if you will, of what this process would include. Now, I have immediate takeaway. And the immediate takeaway, I have a lot of things highlighted here because I do go through the book, but there's one thing that I did not have highlighted that states, he says, to live fully in mind, he must have intellectual recreations and must surround himself with all the objects of art and beauty he is capable of using and appreciating. Then he said, to live fully in soul, in mind, body, and soul. He covered mind, he covered body. He said, to live fully in soul, man must have love. And get this, and love is denied expression by poverty. I'm going to say that 99% of the world lacks this, lacks it. Poverty robs us of the ability to fully love because we have not yet exercised the power of love because poverty makes us a slave to lack, a slave to want. So therefore, it inherently denies the expression of true love. We say things in rhetoric, right? Um, we want for our brothers and sisters what we want for ourselves. Love is all we need. We say these things. They're cliche-ish. They make good music. They're great in poetry. But when you live a life of poverty, you can't reach these things. My father taught me, he gave me a definition of poverty. He said, poverty is punishment for a crime you did not commit. Poverty is punishment for a crime you did not commit. Think about this. We're born into a world, right, that only mimics what our parents have done and what their parents have done and what their parents have done. And so we only know those things to do. We're also born into a world where demographics have changed, the age of industry has changed, the age of money has changed, there are new currencies in the world. All these things speaks volumes to understanding the movement of wealth and riches. $1 million a month, it's an okay goal. It's one I shared with you. But that goal of $1 million a month is not cash. It's going to come in whatever the currency of the age and the technology of the age, the platform age, is designed to foster and create. So the right to being rich is our inalienable right. We were birthed into a world of abundance, and there's enough for everyone to get, enjoy, share. And we're going to see how that actually plays out when we get to chapter 2 in the next broadcast. I want to thank you for your time and attention. Uh, Big shout out to Sekou Writes once again. Visit sekouwrites.com, SEKOUWRITES.com, and you will see why I'm so inspired over what this gentleman has made available to the world. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this live will be titled, I'm Rich, Eric Ture Muhammad and Wallace D. Wattles. Okay. So, with that being said, thank you for your time and attention. I love you for loving yourselves, and I'll see us all